Hi everybody. No idea whether I am able to record this or not. Let me. Hi everybody. So today's topic will be delegating appropriately to win your team over. And why do you do that? Because if you are going to achieve a big dream, big accomplishment, that you cannot do alone. So we need a team of like-minded people and team of uh, people who actually bring in a lot of synergy to our projects. So that is what a team is. And how do we win over the team? Is by empowering them. Right? So hi guys, this is Sangeeta and I'm a leadership growth mentor. I help working professional to get unstuck and resume their growth activity, right? Each of us, sometime or other, face this kind of problem where they get into a stuck mode, so that though they don't find any way out for themselves. So one of that is finding a lot of resistance, lot of friction at workplace. Um, and that deters them from doing something great. What I tell is my kind of formula is, if you are focusing on the vision, the ultimate vision that you will be having, then the little frictions will not take place, or you will be kind of ignore all that, because you will be looking at the perspective of achieving a bigger vision in which not only you but your teammates also are going to be appreciated, and they also will be accomplishing, and the world will be a better, sorry about that, a better place to live. Don't you think so? So so I think team building is very important, and as a leader, as a person, um, either in leadership positions or a person with lot of ownership, both of them have this leadership quality. So the leader is a person who owns the responsibility, and he thinks end to end. It is not about, say, taking up something and then forgetting about it, or getting fickle to another subject, something like that. It is not leadership. So that is what a great responsibility lies with a person who takes the responsibility of doing something end to end. That is what I call as a leader. And so I agree that there are a lot of people at workplace who don't think this way. They their philosophy is different, but no, there is no comparison between you and those kind of person who don't take ownership. There is completely no comparison between these two. You will have your growth path and you will reach somewhere with your own satisfaction, right? And people will know you for what you are, and which is not true for the other kind of person who doesn't take ownership. First of all, he will not have any sense of accomplishment, and you might be seeing a lot of people who are frustrated in life, frustrated, and don't see the meaning of their existence. Who do you think those people are? Let us not talk about that. Let us understand how we can best empower our team so that they do more, they become more, they accomplish more. The first thing is, if you are a leader, if you are a manager, if you are the boss, then lose your reins. That means you don't have to be a control freak. You have to just let go of control. You have to allow people their ways. If you have an idea, don't you think your team will also have so many ideas? If you really want them to own whatever you are doing, then don't you think those people also would like to experiment, because they are giving their time also, right? And this is their chance to contribute to something which they also believe in along with you. So if you allow them the scope to contribute here without being very rigid about how the work needs to be done, the process of the work, you will be actually getting lot of opportunities, lot of options as to how to get that work done in different ways. So whatever you are proposing is just one way, and whoever is contributing towards that in the process, in qualities, in the deliverables, in whatever way they are suggesting something, those are just additional ways to do the work, to get the work done. So allow them that freedom, that flexibility. I'll just give you one example of what is my recent experience. Recently, like say, there was a budget preparation for a proposal. You know how the budget gets prepared, right? So my ways of preparing a budget is in terms of man days. There are ways when you can do this unit amount, unit numbers, how much the unit cost, and how many units will be required, and the total cost. So that is a simple calculation. And that way also you can put a lot of clarity into your team, and you will not get distracted. That is a very proper way of putting things. There are other ways of budgeting also in terms of man days. So in some of the services, if the entire thing will be requiring, say suppose 6 months, then who will do what? Who will be engaged in how many days in that project? So that will be man days calculation, right? So both the processes are same. But some people who are very rigid about this unit price, unit name, and other things, they will not allow you to calculate the man days thing. But internationally, this man days thing is quite acceptable. So both these are correct. So if you are proposing something and the other person is proposing another thing, you will have two things to look at. It actually makes you cross check with the other process also as to whether there is some mistake in the calculation. So this is letting go of the control and allowing other people to contribute. This is the rule number one. The second is from the beginning itself, rather than bringing in people haphazardly, randomly to contribute into something. From the beginning itself, if you can give responsibilities to people, it is not to uh, uh, like confine them into those territories. It is to tell them that they own a particular responsibility, plus they can contribute wherever they want to. So this is, I say, it has to be broadened and deepened. Deepen means the responsibilities they are already assigned to, and broaden means wherever they can contribute, wherever they can. These are broadening and deepening of responsibility where the person likes. Suppose one person is so very good at his work that he completes work in time and he still has some buffer time in which he can support the other team members as well. Might be some other team member is struggling with something because of some there maybe there will be lot of reasons why people get stuck, why people will be struggling, because that particular segment there might be some problem, some hiccups, some challenges, because of which the person who is entitled for that particular segment is yet to do. So you should give the freedom of people to contribute there, and also help people to ask for support within the team or wherever is possible. That is the second. The third is demonstrate trust. When somebody is improvising, there will be, see, whenever you are doing something new, there will be risk. When there is risk, you will need people to improvise so that they can achieve that kind of result. So starting from the improvisation to achieving the result, not being clueless, right? People people have this ownership. They will not be clueless. The team leader won't be like scratching his head, her head, how to do things, because there are so many resources who will be just a minute. Sorry for that. So people are there to support you because you have trusted them, and people know that if they improvise and in the process if there is some mistake and some failure, some hiccups, some challenges, they will not be judged on that. So you are welcoming to innovate. That is a great quality where you own the mistakes of others. You know that if they would have succeeded, there will be a great chance, because people start with something success in mind, and due to some challenges, some we all start with those kind of vision in mind, and somewhere in between, what happens is it doesn't work, right? It doesn't work, and it goes wrong. So what? You are demonstrating trust, right? So you are allowing people to open up, come up with suggestions. Don't you think that that is a great way to keep your team together? Then, if you want to reward them with, recognize them with some incentive, some allowance, some increment, nothing like it. Everybody loves it. But, so this has to be part of the innovation, a part of the empowerment process. people, whoever is contributing should have some allowance. So that is the process built in many of the countries nowadays, many of the HR system where people are encouraged to contribute. So it is irrespective of the end result. People who are contributing, people who are thinking innovatively, out of the box thinking, all these people get this plus mark. So they are entitled for that. And then monitor the empowerment process, not the people. Monitor the process, not the people, because it is never the everybody wants to do something great, right? And nobody intentionally will sabotage the project. So the if people are not intentionally sabotaging the process, that means something external has happened, which is why the end result is suffered. Is that the fault of the person who is involved? The entire team is involved. Some way or other, the entire team is responsible. So how you can kind of monitor people? It has to be the process. So in the process, we have to find out indicators as to what after what. So every process, if the indicators are outlined, then there is no need to point a finger at somebody. You will just evaluate the end process, and if it hasn't been achieved, then you have to find out where the process has gone wrong. So this is about monitoring the systems and processes, not person. The value systems that might have gone wrong. Then the feedback from external sources. People might be giving some feedback which requires alteration of our styles, execution style, and it has to be shared. It might be coming to one person, to you as a leader, and other people also entitled to know that, because it is, after all, a team effort. And when some decision is taken as a result of some feedback, some process failure, some result which has been achieved, so there has to be some collaboration in the decision making. What to do next, how to proceed further, how to design the next thing, how to initiate something new. All these have to be collaborative approach. The other person needs to feel that he is included in the process and be accountable. Be accountable to everything, everything you do to your team, right? Then there has to be some personal connection with people. Don't you think so? Every person is not the same. Every person comes from a different background. Their mental makeup is very different. As a leader, you should know what the person is saying, how the person expresses. You have to have that connection. If you know how the person behaves under certain circumstances, then only you can become accommodating, right? Then you can give the scope, the chance for that person. And this is how you create influence. So whenever there is a reason to take a decision, a tough decision, then despite not agreeing to that, people will abide by your decision because they know that you trust them And this might be an extraordinary situation wherein a single person is taking a decision. Otherwise, it would have been collaborative. So that influence you need to create, right? Influence. Why create influence? Influence is because of certain extraordinary situations where you need to take unilateral decisions. And in the process, you should know that all your team members are not equal in strengths and they don't have common weaknesses. They would have some kind of strengths in them and some kind of weaknesses in them. If you know that, then it will be better for you to assign the team responsibilities accordingly. You are not going to assign somebody weak in calculation to give the budget part or keep the accounting, budget accounting to that person, right? He might be strong in something else. And so to assign that. Then um, if we are introducing something, managing resistance to change, we all know that change is not a very welcome process. When everything is going great, nobody actually likes to change, likes any change. But being a leader, you might have realized that sometimes change is required. That resistance, how can you explain somebody that this change is required? Only when you go talk one to one and clear that objection that that person is having. It, it cannot be expressed in a team environment. Sometimes decisions are, this resistance to change are very personal. So even systems in your office setup that might require some change, which will create some unhappiness in one of the team members. That you need to know, you need to understand as to what is bothering that person. And of course, when you delegate, when you frequently delegate, that is the that is how you grow leaders. Leaders will be learning how to lead if they are given appropriate opportunity to lead. This is how this hope this helps, and this is how you can manage your team. You can create a lot of relationships, deep relationships within the team, and be a good leader. Hope this helps. See you. So please comment in the